Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joseph Ryder Anderson podcast. Today, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're going to be switching gears and talking about the upcoming Ascended Heroes Pokemon set coming out in January. So I know I've been mostly talking about Union Arena, and for those who are specifically interested in Union Arena, hang tight. There'll be more exciting episodes coming up soon. But there's just been so much going on with the spoiler season for Ascended Heroes that I feel like it would make a lot of sense, be helpful to a lot of people if I went over what some of the top chase cards are likely to be when Ascended Heroes comes out starting in January. So Ascended Heroes. So first of all, back up a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. I own josephryderanderson.com, which is a leading source for TCG news, card lists, deck guides, things like that. I've been writing about the Pokemon TCG since I think it was 2021. Which is when I got back into it myself. And since then, the website has grown to be about multiple different things. But one of the biggest things I write about is the Pokemon TCG. And that includes covering the new sets that come out. So you may be familiar with the website. I'll share links in the description. But I really wanted to go over what we know about Ascended Heroes and the top chase cards from Ascended Heroes, because this has been sort of one of the most roller coastery reveal seasons that I've seen in a while for a card set. So Ascended Heroes is going to be a set that really pulls a lot of alternate arts from recent Pokemon sets. So that's for both the Mega Evolution and Scarlet and Violet, which came right before Mega Evolution. And we're going to be getting really a ton of cool cards in this set. There's over 290 cards, over 30 trainer cards, and more than 30 Pokemon and trainer cards with special illustrations. So that's straight from the Pokemon Company description. We've seen new Mega Pokemon EX revealed already, several of them, and these ones were in the Japanese sister sets called Mega Dream EX and the 100. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. The Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. So this Ascended Heroes is essentially comprised of cards from both of those. So this, as information has been coming out, I've been updating my guides, which you can find in this show description. But there've been so many crazy updates. I just wanted to go through what the top 10 chase cards are likely to be. And this is going to be comprised of cards officially revealed in English via the Pokemon Company and various media channels that they both own, as well as cards they've sent to other media outlets. And then we're also going to be looking at cards leaked online for the Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. So that's coming out on December 19th, or depending on when I publish this, maybe I won't publish until December 19th, but it comes out December 19th, 2025. And then we're also going to be looking at cards that have already come out in Mega Dream EX. We already have a lot of market data on what's done well for Mega Dream EX. So we'll be leaning on some of that, as well as just leaning into some of the more regional specific predictions I have for Ascended Heroes. So first of all, Ascended Heroes, the top chase card, there's really two that it could be. Kind of three, but really two, I would say, given the latest information. But I still would say that Mega Gengar EX is going to be the top chase card from the set. We have not had an alternate art Gengar like this since Fusion Strike, for anyone who was playing back then or collecting back then. We had that amazing Gengar VMAX alt, which is now extremely valuable. I think last time I checked, it was worth more than $700, which is insane. So I think it's a combination of people seeing that, as also just people really loving Gengar. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of people love Gengar, myself included. Gengar was one of my favorite Pokemon from back in the day. And I feel like I say that about a lot of Pokemon because I do like a lot of Pokemon. But Gengar definitely holds a special place in my heart. This Mega Gengar EX is really cool. It's a beautiful card. I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than that. There's not really, it's more of an abstract kind of conceptual card than like a hyper realistic one. But I think it really pulls off what it's trying to do really well. This is probably going to be the top chase card from the set. I don't know how much it's going to be worth. My guess off the top of my head is anywhere between $500 and $700 when the set comes out. That's my best guess. Number two is a card that was really just leaked. And it's funny because I was just writing something and thinking, wow, we did not see an alternate art Mega Charizard Y card. Why is that, I wonder? So maybe we're going to get a Mega Charizard Y SIR too. But there was a Mega Charizard Y EX Mega Hyper Rare included in the Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. So this is the Mega Hyper Rare. For those not familiar, these are the gold cards. They're much more rare than even an SIR, Special Illustration Rare, but they tend to not always be as valuable as the SIRs, right? So if we look at Phantasmal Flames, a lot of people were calling the Mega Charizard X Mega Hyper Rare that was coming out as the top chase card. And as we saw the data roll in from the Japanese sister set, the SIR actually was outperforming the gold card, and that the same thing happened in the English set when it came out in Phantasmal Flames. So my guess, I think that you could make a strong argument for Mega Charizard Y EX Mega Hyper Rare being the top chase card from the set. It's a gorgeous card. It's super valuable and it has the most bankable, arguably the most bankable Pokemon of all time on this card. But I do think, given recent trends with the SIRs doing a little bit better at the top end than the Mega Hyper Rares, I think that we still might see Mega Gengar EX outperforming even this amazing Mega Charizard Y EX Mega Hyper Rare. But that's not the only Mega Hyper Rare that we're likely to get in Ascended Heroes. We're also most likely going to be getting a Mega Dragonite EX Mega Hyper Rare. Mega Dragonite EX is a recent addition to the Pokemon universe. It came out when the new game came out, and it was met with a lot of kind of controversy online. People kind of thought it had a very silly sort of design, I guess you could call it, with the wings coming out of the head. It doesn't bother me personally. I think it's a cool, perfectly cool like mega Pokemon, and this card should be worth a lot. But there is another card. I personally think the Mega Hyper Rare for this particular card might end up being more expensive, but you could even see the SIR, the Mega Dragonite EX Special Illustration Rare, perhaps even outperforming the Mega Hyper Rare. This card is following this trend. We saw this with Phantasmal Flames, with the Mega Charizard X. We saw this in the Pokemon Pocket set that just came out featuring Mega Charizard Y, where Pokemon's loving to depict these Mega Pokemon with their entire evolution line behind them. So here we see Dragonite, Mega Dragonite, we see Dratini, we see Dragonair, and we see Dragonite all in the background. Again, with this sort of like abstracty sort of artwork behind it, which is really cool. It really works well. So I would say either one of those would be the next one. I don't know how it's going to go. I think now that I've heard news, before I was like, okay, well the Mega Hyper Rare is probably going to be second. But now that we've heard news of there being two Mega Hyper Rares, I'm like, okay, well maybe people might actually prefer the Mega Dragonite EX SIR over the Mega Dragonite Mega Hyper Rare. I personally prefer the SIR. I think the SIR looks gorgeous. I'd prefer the artwork for that a little more than the Mega Hyper Rare, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up are two cards that could go any which way. These cards are really a cool Mega Attack style card. So if you are familiar with the Mega Charizard X that we got in the Ultra Premium collection, that was super, super popular at the end of 2025, came out at the same time as the Phantasmal Flames. A lot of people were dying to get their hands on that product. It has that really cool Mega Charizard X with the Mega Attack written on it in Japanese. The Japanese version has the attack written in English, which is really cool. Kind of coupling there. But the Mega Lucario EX, this is going to be available in the promo, the special poster collection. So there's going to be two of these special poster collections coming out later. Ascended Heroes is getting a very staggered release date, perhaps to try to combat some of the shortages that we saw with Prismatic Evolutions. But I could definitely see these promos going for a lot of money. They're not going to be in the packs. They're promo cards, but those promo products are going to be really hard to get a hold of. So you could see these cards spiking in value. The other one is the Mega Gardevoir EX. So these are both super popular Pokemon. Their alt arts went for a ton of money in the Mega Evolution set when they came out, the base set, Mega Evolution set. So I would not be surprised to see these promos ending up as top chase cards, even though, yes, are not available in the packs. Another beautiful card that we're going to be getting is the Marnie's Grimmsnarl Special Illustration Rare. This card has been doing really well for the Japanese set. It's one of the top chase cards for that set. And it's the first time that we've actually gotten an alternate art for Marnie's Grimmsnarl. So I think a lot of people who play Marnie's Grimmsnarl, for example, or people who just collect Grimmsnarl is a pretty cool Pokemon, and Marnie's a pretty well-liked trainer. Not like the top most visible trainer of all time, but she's a decently liked trainer. A lot of people are going to want to collect this card, and a lot of people are probably going to want to run it in their Marnie's Grimmsnarl decks. That's been a contender in the Pokemon TCG meta for some time, so it's really exciting to get an alternate art of this card. Moving on to a card that I have stronger feelings about, which is the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Not that I have like particularly like, I'm not trying to say like I feel particularly good or bad, but I just really like this card. This card, we all know it came out in Destined Rivals, and it had a beautiful alternate art in Destined Rivals. There's no way that this card's going to be worth as much, in my opinion. No way that this card's going to be worth as much as the Destined Rivals version of the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. That card artwork is just amazing. This one is a really cool card, though. It's a really nice tribute to one of the coolest sets of Pokemon that we've had lately, which was Destined Rivals. It's really nice to see Team Rocket's Mewtwo and Giovanni teaming up in this card, but it should be not worth as much as the original. Here we have the Pikachu EX SIR. This one's really special to me because to me, and I've seen other people have similar feelings about this, Surging Sparks happened around the time that Pokemon, there was like this period where the Pokemon TCG was a little bit more quiet. Obviously during the pandemic, it was just insanely in high demand. Pokemon combated that by overprinting a ton of cards. And for a long time, you could very easily find Pokemon products anywhere you went. The prices settled down, nothing but the top chase cards would be worth a whole lot, especially during the Scarlet and Violet time. And then Surging Sparks comes out with that Pikachu SIR that people went nuts for. That card shot up in value well over $300, I think it was, right away. It's still worth a lot of money today. And this card is that same card, just with a different alternate look. And it's being designed by a famous illustrator. So it's being designed by, let me pull up his name so I don't get it wrong. This is by a famous James Turner, who has been heavily involved with the Pokemon games as an artist. So a lot of people are going to really want to get their hands on this card. I don't know that it's going to be worth as much as the original from Surging Sparks. My guess is probably not, but it's still going to be a really big chase for a lot of people. Now moving on to a couple of cards. This is interesting because these next couple of cards, these next three cards we're going to talk about, they all originally came out in Pokemon TCG Journey Together. And I think the funny thing is Journey Together seemed extremely cool before it came out. It was the first time that a Pokemon set has had a trainer's Pokemon in it in a main Pokemon set since like the 2000s. So it seemed like a really big deal, but funny enough, of all the sets that came out in 2025, it was a phenomenal year for the Pokemon TCG. The best year I've seen perhaps ever in terms of like the entire, how many amazing sets we got in 2025. Journey Together was probably the only set that was a little less exciting. And I think Destined Rivals came out. The news of Destined Rivals was officially announced shortly before Journey Together came out, and that just stole the stage. Everyone was excited about Team Rocket returning and all that cool stuff, Cynthia's Garchomp and all that, and it kind of stole the thunder from Journey Together. Journey Together kind of felt like a set that was just sort of setting up the bigger set of Destined Rivals, and that's kind of how it played out on the secondary card market, where you saw a lot of these cards dip in value compared to some of the really high values that you could get from cards in Destined Rivals. So we are getting reprints for several of these key cards that came out in Journey Together. One is Enzoric, and this card is Enzoric EX SIR, the Special Illustration Rare. This is a gorgeous card, and it very much follows a similar kind of design style as the Umbreon EX from Prismatic Evolutions. That's what the design pattern reminds me the most of. We also have this really fun take on Iono's Belly Bolt, and I think that's really cool because Iono was a highly bankable trainer throughout Scarlet and Violet. This is probably the last time for a while that we're going to see her. She was a prominent character, right? Prominent gym leader in the Scarlet and Violet games. So this might be the last time we see Iono on a Pokemon card for a while. And I think that sort of nostalgic appeal will help increase this card's value. And I definitely think for all three of these SIRs, reprints of Journey Together, I think all of them are going to be worth more than the Journey Together originals when the set comes out. The last one, again, it's Lily's Clefairy EX. Lily's Clefairy is a highly played card in the Pokemon TCG. As I talk about all the time in the guides, if you've read my guides, competitive viability translates to some increase in value. It's not far from the only thing that predicts how valuable a card will be, but typically a card being competitively viable does not hurt its value potential on the secondary card market. Again, another card, the Lily's Clefairy EX was the top chase from Journey Together, but I think that I like this artwork even better, and I think this card will fare better than the original. Being from a set that's going to be more exciting to people, Extended Heroes is going to be a very exciting set to people for some time. And I think this card's going to be just highly valuable, highly sought after. I like the colors. I like the warmth. I like how you can just tell how Lily and her Clefairy are really good friends. And I think this, Lily being on a card like this with an original Pokemon is just a recipe for a high value card. We have a couple more cards to look at. I want to talk about this Mega Meganium EX. So this card is super cool from a playing standpoint. This is a new Pokemon EX card that we're getting in Ascended Heroes. We've not had it in a past set. It's not a reprint like a lot of these cards are. And this card is really strong, and it really plays into a lot of the fantastic support we've been getting from a playing standpoint in the game for Grass-type Pokemon. We've been getting a ton of support for the Grass-type Pokemon, and Grass-type Pokemon decks desperately need it. So we've not had a really solid grass type deck in a long time. Discounting Ogerpon, Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, but like a deck with a primary grass type attacker. I think this card is going to work so well with the existing grass type strategies because it's going to gain attack damage based on the number of grass type energies. And that works really well with the Bayleaf and the Meganium. The Meganium more so than the Bayleaf, that we got in Ascended Heroes. So that's going to help buff its attack to crazy amounts. Mega Feraligatr, again, both of these guys, this is another new one for Ascended Heroes, and this one benefits massively too, just like the Meganium from being a net new card, as well as being, both of them are evolutions of Johto starters, and a lot of people love Johto, so that's going to be a little bit of a nostalgic kick in the pants for people. And at number 15 is a brand new Pokemon, Mega Pokemon, introduced in the latest Pokemon game, and that is the Mega Frostlass EX. It's a gorgeous card and a gorgeous print, and this card is going to be also worth some serious money once the set comes out in January. So those are all the top chase cards from Ascended Heroes. It's going to be a massive set, so don't let any of the haters steer you wrong. This set's going to be huge, probably the biggest thing we've seen since Prismatic Evolutions, and it deserves it because there's just so much to love about this set. It really is a greatest hits album of the past year or so of the Pokemon TCG. So with that being said, if you like that video, like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out my website, josephryderanderson.com, for more info and the latest Pokemon TCG spoilers. Until next time, keep on battling.